This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
A business that was ravaged by a gas bottle fire in July this year has today been officially reopened. Banjos Rosnay thanking members of the Tasmania Fire Service for their tireless efforts in bringing the blaze under control.
Cutting the ribbon to reopen Banjos Rosnay. Members of the Tasmanian Fire Service recognised for their hard work in bringing the blaze under control.
The fire escalation was quite quick in this instance, so yeah, it could have been a lot worse because there were multiple people inside the structure when the fire did break out.
This was the terrifying incident staff were faced with just a few months ago. A gas bottle exploding as a delivery worker was changing it over. Then followed a blast, creating savage flames and thick plumes of smoke in the middle of Rosnay CBD.
On first size up, we saw some very intense fire behaviour inside the structure and proceeded from there.
Banjos and nearby businesses were forced to evacuate.
It was very devastating for obviously the staff, the families of those staff members and obviously the local community.
Luckily there were only minor injuries, with the delivery driver suffering minor burns to his face.
Without their help, lives could have been hurt and surrounding businesses also, could have been affected. So we are more than grateful.
It's very satisfying that we can help the community in this way and do what we're trained to do. It does make you feel very good when you do get a good result and no one's hurt or injured.
The damage bill exceeding $1 million. The TFS taking the opportunity to remind people to remain vigilant when working with gas and to keep a safe distance of more than 100 metres in the case of an emergency. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A P-plater has been caught driving in Deloraine with a blood alcohol level of 0.216 overnight, 4 times the legal limit. On day one of Operation Crossroads, Tasmania Police also caught another P-plate driver at nearly 150 kilometres per hour near Ross.
These are drivers that are new to driving. They still haven't developed the skills and yet they're engaging in super risky behaviour.
Police conducted more than 4,000 random breath tests overnight, with 13 motorists found to be drink driving. Operation Crossroads is a statewide police crackdown targeting speed, drugs and alcohol, and continues until the 2nd of January. A full review into the cost of sending children to school will take place if Labor wins the next state election. The Shadow Education Minister says the review is aiming to make public tuition, uniforms and extracurricular activities more affordable.
We want to understand where the pressure points are and whether or not schools are passing on these costs because they've had to employ teaching staff or because there's no flexibility in their own budget.
The state opposition says taxpayers won't need to foot a bill for the review, as it will take place internally within the Education Department. Woodchopping was once the domain of burly bushmen. Now female and junior athletes are radically changing the sport's image, and the change is set to shake up competition at this year's Christmas carnivals.
Winkley, near Exeter, is today the epicentre of World Woodchopping. Its annual festival is the final hit-out for athletes ahead of the Christmas carnivals. For years, big men have made up the sport's public persona, but that image is shifting.
I picked up an axe following my father's footsteps, and it was just a very exciting thing. It's dangerous. I got to pit myself against the boys, kind of terrorise them a little bit.
28-year-old Martha King is here from Pennsylvania. She's part of woodchopping's female revolution. She says Tasmania is the measuring stick for the world's top axe women.
If you want to be the best, you got to compete against the best.
Someone who has witnessed woodchopping's changing face is Stan Sainty. He started swinging the axe more than 50 years ago.
Those days you either had to go cricket or football, and if you failed those two sports you took up woodchopping.
He says professionalism in the modern game means athletes sharpen their skills from a much younger age.
Going back a few years we went through a bit of a slow spot, and I don't know why that was, but just at present game we've got a lot of younger axemen coming into it, and real good young axemen.
Woodchopping's new pioneers prove the sport is about much more than brute strength.
I actually tell people that woodchopping is a bit like hitting a golf ball. It's about timing.
I think one of the things that really touches me a lot is when little girls come up to me after competitions and say, wow, you've really inspired me.
Woodchopping world titles are being held at the Latrobe, Launceston, Devonport and Burnie carnivals over the coming fortnight. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Christmas spirit was in full force today, with onlookers treated to a version of Tasmanian Christmas carols on the Hobart waterfront. The Choir of High Hopes hitting a high note as a thank you to this group of walkers setting off on a statewide fundraising mission for the charity. They've raised over $5,000 for the local choir and will experience some of our state's most beautiful scenery.
Everyone has a very gentle heart, I think. So it's really to experience the whole thing and do something good for the community.
All in all, it makes Hobart's future a brighter one for one group of very dedicated singers.
The group of 19 conquering Mount Wellington today and will head to Wineglass Bay tomorrow.
The Hobart Hurricanes' horror start to the WBBL season has continued in Sydney today, with the Sixers getting the better of the side yet again. The Canes now sit winless down the bottom of the ladder, following 4 losses in as many matches.
Seeking revenge on the Sixers, things didn't go to plan for the Canes early, with Lauren Winfield departing on 6. A communication breakdown, the undoing of Hayley Matthews just 2 balls later, leaving it to a fellow import to try and pick up the pieces, as Krishna Murphy set about doing just that. The Indian international combining with Redmayne as the Canes started to spark up. She was unlucky to go on 16, caught centimetres from the boundary rope, and when Kim Garth trapped Redmayne, hopes of a big total faded quickly. Veronica Pike lasting just 8 balls as her skipper tried to smash her way out of a form slump, but 14 runs was the most she could manage, with the visitors all out for 98 not long after. Nicola Hancock was given the job with a new ball, claiming the prize scalp of Alyssa Healy just a few deliveries in. Celebrations were short-lived as Elise Perry and former Cane Erin Burns chased down the total with ease, the Sixers taking the match by 9 wickets and with more than 6 overs to spare.
Meantime, South Hobart's Sandy Bay have made easy work of Kingborough overnight at Blunston Arena to claim the Cricket Tasmania Premier League final. The big names were firing for the Sharks, with Alex Doolan and Simon Malenko helping the side along to a 134-run total before their attack tore through the Kingborough order, dismissing them for just 97 to claim the cup. He's been laying low in Melbourne for the better part of the year, but Jack Hale says he's been training harder than ever and is hitting personal best form. I caught up with a Tasmanian sprint sensation today as he prepares for Commonwealth Games selection trials in February.
Making easy work of the field at today's Athletic South Reunion Day, Hale's recent gains in the gym are translating onto the track.
I think like 7-8 kilos over the last 9 months or so that's a big one. It's really generated some good force changes as well, which is a really good sign.
Training in Melbourne for most of 2017, the 19-year-old says it's exactly where he needs to be at this point of his developing career.
Just the environment I'm in at the moment is really good and I'm enjoying it. It's more of a one-on-one sort of environment and just some personal reasons to move over, and it's worked out well.
Hale's next run is in a week's time at the Burnie Carnival, where he'll look to go one better than 2015 when he finished runner-up from the back marker.
I mean, I'm off a decent mark this year, off half a metre running well, so let's see why I can't.
But for Hale, the event is a warm-up to something much bigger, with Commonwealth Games selection trials just around the corner.
For sure, I mean, there's a relay team going, but I don't obviously just want to go for the relay. I want to really put myself out there for an individual spot, so I'm probably running quicker than I was sort of when I'm in my PB year at the moment, so I think 10.1's a real goal. I mean, 10.16 is a qualifier, I believe, 10.15 is 10.17, so push that, I suppose.
Trials begin on the Gold Coast in February.
It was a night for the favourites at Hobart's Elwick Racecourse for the annual Triple M Tasmania Cup, with 7-year-old interstate horse Major Secret never in doubt in the main race, taking the $50,000 prize purse with ease.
Outside, but it's a cakewalk. Major Secret takes the Tasmania Cup by 15 metres. Second, Roger Ramjet. No Spring Secrets up for third.
The next major harness racing meet is the Hobart Pacing Cup on January 7.
Good evening. Hobart saw 24 today, Launceston 22, Burnie 23 and Devonport 21. 27 was the top today at Friendly Beaches, Maria Island 25, St Helens 24, Bushy Park and Wynyard 23, Flinders and Grove peaked at 22 with 20 for King Island and Low Head. The satellite has picked up some low-level cloud over Tasmania ahead of a front approaching the west coast. There was a band of mid-level cloud extending from southern Western Australia over the Bight and isolated storms for the far north of the country. Up closer, there's low-level convective cloud ahead of a weak cold front crossing the state. Tomorrow, a cold front will move into the Tasman and a high-pressure system will direct some southwesterly winds over the state. On the water, west to southwesterly winds to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots in the south, seas up to 3 metres for the west and south coasts. There's a strong wind warning current for lower eastern and southern coastal waters from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point and for Banks Strait and Franklin Sound. Taking a look at Christmas Eve, most areas have a clear run for Santa's arrival. Hobart and Ooze clearing showers with 18, Richmond 19, Launceston 21, Devonport 19, Deloraine 18, Burnie partly cloudy 20, Strawn and Curry 17, and St Helens cloudy with 22, Swansea 19 and some sun for Whitemark with 20. The UV tomorrow is very high all round. The 3-day Christmas forecast is what we all want to know. Christmas Day will be fine with a few showers expected for the west and far south. 21 expected in Hobart and 24 in Launceston. Boxing Day, there'll be a morning shower for the southeast and some cloud expected elsewhere. And Wednesday morning, showers in the northeast, partly cloudy elsewhere. And around the country tomorrow for Christmas Eve, Perth and Brisbane sunny with 33, Adelaide partly cloudy 26, Canberra 35 and Melbourne showers with a top of 20. And currently in Hobart, 19, partly cloudy, Launceston 18, partly cloudy, Devonport 18 and partly cloudy. At this stage, it's looking great for Christmas.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Candice. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us here on Southern Cross News. I look forward to your company again tomorrow night at 6. I'm Rachel Williams. Good night.